Hey folks, how you doing? This is Flemmy. No. Excuse me. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com, American Liberty Radio at USA.com. How are ya? Yeah, I'm, as you can tell, doing good. This is the 2nd of May, 2017. How are ya? Are you good? I mean, seriously. Are you happening? I mean, hey, if you can look in the mirror and smile, yeah, you're doing good. So anyway, folks. Hey, I'm glad that some of you listened to my live program last night. Yeah, the Truth Experience. I had a live program last night, and it was good, I thought, But, hey, I'm only one person. Tell me what you think, because I really want to know. American Liberty Radio at USA.com, American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Oh, my God. So many things going on. I mean, it does help, that we pay attention to what's going on. It does help that we understand the workings of those that, the inner workings of those that, don't want peace, freedom, liberty, and security in this nation. It is important that we understand, who's controlling everything. And it's just, it just comes down to really being yourself. I mean, if you want to stay safe, you want to stay informed, you really have to understand what's going on. And to just ignore it and say, well, I'm going to watch the football game. I don't care about politics. Really? Are you that stupid? Because, it's going to affect you one way or another. And it just doesn't get any better, it seems. But it will. Because you and I have the opportunity to learn what's going on. You and I have the opportunity to see the very creature behind the curtain. You and I have the opportunity to understand what's going on and be educated as to how to take care of the situation. But when you have a multi-armed creature staring at you from behind the curtain, then gets a little difficult. But your fear should not stop you from learning something more. Do not be discouraged by what you see, because there's a lot more stories to tell that will give you insight as to exactly what's happening. Kit Daniels at Infowars.com. Antifa, social justice warriors, push anti-white agenda. Antifa, what they're not telling you, social justice warrior movements are increasingly racist and increasingly destructive to diversity while claiming, quote, reverse racism, unquote, doesn't exist. And I'm going to put that up there because these are the people that literally, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, these people seriously have a problem with freedom, which is kind of a contradiction in terms, because they're using the freedom to express their anti-white agenda. You see what I'm saying? Do you see the hypocrisy here in just that It's on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Go check that out. It's a bunch of videos with it as well. Social justice, it's in quotes, magazine says, quote, white people age like bananas, unquote. Publication has a history of anti-white casual racism. What is behind the racism? What is behind those things that create the environment for people to hate one another? What is that? Can you narrow it down to at least two things? I know there's a lot of things out there, but can you narrow it down? Because it's just ridiculous. It's just another ridiculous thing, and it's coming out of, well, you guessed it, California. California may place, quote-unquote, third gender option on state documents, intersex. There you go. It's from Breitbart. Today, 2nd of May 2017. A bill under consideration in California would place a third gender option on state documents, which, if it passes, would make California the first state in the country to do so. The effort, however, is being pushed by the transgender movement. Let me reread that. I made a mistake. The effort, however, is not being pushed by the transgender movement, but rather by people who are biologically neither male nor female, or alternatively, both. According to a report by Sacramento's local CBS affiliate, CBS 13, it all started last year in New York. Quote, Sarah Kelly Kennan made international headlines last year when New York City issued her the first ever birth certificate with an intersex classification in the gender field instead of male or female. My body looks quite different from other women, unquote, Keenan told CBS 13, who uses, quote unquote, she as a pronoun. Keenan says she was born intersex, having male genes with female genitalia and mixed inter-reproductive organs. Keenan kept her story secret for most of her life, but now she's legally recognized. She wants to help others who feel they are neither man nor woman, nor, quote-unquote, non-binary. There are times when we see behind the curtain and we don't like what we see. There are times that standing in front of the curtain are things we don't even want to consider. But what does that tell you? If you were to see something that you just cannot even want to grasp, you don't even want to think about it, you don't even want to put 2 seconds of a thought together to think about those things that disturb you, that put you in a position to where you are kind of in the middle of, I don't know how, wow, okay, let me just move that aside and look behind the curtain and see what's going on. What is that initial thought? What is that initial thought? How does that make you feel to know that there are some things out there that you just won't handle? Okay? I mean, that at that point right there, that should give you the opportunity to say, hey, wait a minute, there's something different here and I need to understand it before I even move on, you know? I learned that when I was in high school, many moons ago. And I literally understand how these people feel as far as, you know, the same-sex marriage, all of that, and all the LGBT issues and all that. I can understand it from my perspective because I see the horrors involved from people who don't understand it, won't even give it a second thought. So I understand that position as well. I got friends and family who are gay. I got friends or family who are in same-sex relationship. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect my life any. I don't judge them for who they are. They love people. That's cool. Right on. I give them a virtual high five on that. But for somebody, if they were standing next to me seeing the same thing I see and can't grasp something, such as the Antifa and the social justice warriors, and if they just can't grasp that, there's something wrong with their intellect. Okay? And I'm not, I'm not bashing their intelligence on anything. I'm just kind of questioning their perspective and their intellectual understanding of what's going on. That's all. Are there stupid people? Yeah. Are there people that just will not even consider anything of some nature that is outside of their personal space or personal understanding? Definitely. Definitely. There's no way to get around that. You can try to help somebody understand something all day long. You can talk to them, as my mama used to tell me, you can talk to them till you're blue in the face. It ain't going to change the way they feel. Coffee, I love coffee. You know why that's not going to change how they feel? Because their environment indoctrinated them with hate and with discourse and with this sense that they are superior and everyone else is inferior. I see this. I see this in people. I see this growing in people because they won't take 2 minutes to try to figure it out. I don't care if it has anything to do with... it doesn't matter to me what they're looking at, in other words. They can be looking at politics. They can be looking at celebrities. They can be looking at LGBT issues. They can be looking at transgender issues. They can be looking at medical issues or anything. If it does not fit within their frame of understanding, they don't want anything to do with it. Excuse me. They fear what they don't understand. And that fear leads them to create separations within themselves so they don't have to deal with certain things. They compartmentalize their prejudice. And they say, no, I don't want to deal with that. Oh, there's a baseball game down the road? Yeah, let's go there. You see what I'm saying? And there's all these subcategories that you want to look at too as well. But that's if you're so prone to do so. I can never understand why some of my friends were so prejudiced or racist. Oh, by the way, most of them are passed on now. I could never understand how someone could be so... Okay, I'll say it. I don't know how people can be so ignorant. Or as my daddy used to say, ignorant. He was joking around one day, and he's ignorant. I said, oh, that must be a northern term. He goes, no, it just means ignorant. How do you live with yourself knowing that another person is being stepped on, is being suppressed, is being blatantly lied to? How can you live with yourself? Even when you're being lied to, how can you look at yourself in the mirror and say, well, I don't have to deal with that because I don't want to? It's just an amazing turn of events when you look in the mirror and realize, you know what, I've been wrong all these years. That happened to me when I was in my, when I was about 17, getting ready to graduate high school. Yeah, it happened early, and I'm glad because I've gone to this point in my life where I'm pretty damn happy about what's going on, you know what I mean, with myself and with things. And, hey, I don't live in a $500,000 home and I don't make $20 million a year. But you know what? I wake up every day, put my feet on the floor and realize, you know what? I think I can get this. I think I can do this, I think I can, go out the door and do the things I need to do. You know what I mean? Knowing that everybody else is doing the same damn thing. Then there are those people who have a job, they have a facade of a life, but then their mind is bent, and I should say their mind is held to a more darker level. In other words, they'll work and they'll pay the rent, but no, they'll deal drugs behind, they'll deal drugs, they'll go out and do, all sorts of other things, and, which is really stupid, but they'll do it anyway because, the quick and easy way is not necessarily the most efficient or effective way of living life. As I said in my past podcast, I used to work closely with the San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office, and I can tell you right now, the quick and easy path won't end well. Okay? I'm just letting you know, it won't end well. So as we look at the stuff that we live with every day, my suggestion is to learn about what's going on. Learn about what's going on. Examine those things around you that are there, really. Sessions hints he won't crack down on marijuana in states where it's legal. Congress should recognize that it has no constitutional authority to ban marijuana or any other drug and simply repeal all federal drug laws. I totally agree. Michael Tennant over at the New American, 2nd of May 2017. Although he remains personally opposed to marijuana legalization, Attorney General Jeff Sessions indicated last week that he is not intent on cracking down on marijuana growers, sellers, and users in states where the drug is legal. In an April 29th meeting with governors of 4 legal marijuana states, Sessions strongly hinted that the Justice Department had higher priorities than enforcing federal cannabis laws in such states, according to Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper, who's a Democrat, who requested the meeting. Quote, he certainly was very direct and clearly said that they've got a lot of priorities, unquote. Hickenlooper told MSNBC's MTP Daily, quote, and at one point he said, well, you haven't seen us cracking down, have you? I said, no. That's going up there, and I believe, now, when you look at Portugal, I think it is. When you look at countries like Portugal and other countries who just absolutely just almost legalized every single, drug that there is, you can see that the crime rate in those areas, in those countries, have gone down considerably. If we were to legalize cannabis, marijuana, whatever you want to call it, we wouldn't have the problems we have now. Remember what I was talking about, the quick and easy path? Yeah. There's nothing, there is no advantage the government has by keeping marijuana illegal. And I say that with this in mind. When people get busted for marijuana, they go into the courts, they have to deal with paying the fines, they have to deal with paying the attorney, they have to deal with paying their probation officer, they have to deal with paying certain other fines as well. It's a big money-making racket, not for the marijuana dealers or users, but for the courts and the attorneys and the states and the confiscation that happens when, the police come in and bust you with it. So, continue to make it illegal and continue to make it a burden on the states. Make it legal. Just across the board, make it all legal and see what happens. You can always turn around and make it illegal again if you want, but just make it legal. Facebook is a literal cuck factory. Learn how Facebook has been weaponized to help the globalists retain control. Go to gab.ai, folks. Gab.ai. Sign up. You may have to wait a few days to get approved, but that's where you need to go. Minds.com is another social network. Minds.com. Let me go there and I'll tell you exactly what's going on there. Retail giant Target slashes CEO's pay as profits, stock prices continue to tumble, company losing billions year over year. Look for Sears and mostly all of Sears now and Targets and other places like that. Watch, just within the next 18 months, they're all going to go away. And in about probably 5 years, if things continue the way they are, watch for Walmart to start laying off people. Okay. Coffee. I love coffee. You like coffee, folks? Because I like coffee. I like the coffee. Coffee is good. I like coffee. Gab.ai. Gab is community powered and ad free. And I just think that in all our efforts to do what we need to do, folks, in all of our efforts to do what we need to do, we need to recognize the fact that there are other people out there and we need to take care of our own and do what we need to do. Real Nazi group nearly clashes with Antifa in Pikeville, Kentucky. Yeah, let's go take a look at that, folks. It's a YouTube video that's 9 minutes and 39 seconds long. And it's from Kuntar, which is Kuntar. So I'm going to post that one since I mentioned the headline. I'm going to post that one on American Liberty Radio Podcast. See, I find this stuff all over the place, folks. It's not just Infowars.com that I go to. I go a lot of places. I go all over the place. Mayday commie protesters in Philly screams, kill Trump, kill Pence. Yeah, so that one I'm not going to put up. You guys can find. That's on Infowars.com. Leftist t-shirt at Mayday rally shows ISIS beheading Donald Trump. That's another one. Now that one I'll put up for you guys to take a look at. But that's also on Infowars.com. I'm going to say this before I go to break here at the bottom of the hour. I may go into overdrive, but I wanted to share with you basically the things I've thought about last night. I don't have a script in front of me. I don't have a teleprompter in front of me. I got squat. Okay, I don't have any of that. Why? I just don't need it. It's just one of those things where we take a look at everything in our lives. We take a look at what's happening around us. We examine those things in our lives that really matter. Now, that might be contradictory in what I've said earlier. Well, take a look behind the curtain and see what's going on. But we take a look at things that matter, and guess what? It's all related in some way. It's all related in how we function every day. It takes away from, when we look at the truth and the facts and what's behind the curtain, it takes away from our fear. It takes away from what is intimidating us. It takes away from the very heart of those things that are seemingly against us. We don't have a foundation that we can rely on as much as we did when we were younger. Because we had the diversity of thought. We still do to a certain extent. We had that diversity where we could hear something in school and then go home and say, Mom, Dad, what's going on here? I was 8 years old. No, excuse me. I correct myself. I was 6 years old when Walter Cronkite came on TV years ago, back in 1968. Yes, you can do the math, figure out how old I am. I'm going to be 55 this year, folks. Just, hey, you know what I mean? I was sitting there in the living room watching TV, listening to the news. Yes, at 6 years old. And Walter Cronkite came on TV and said they got to send 10,000 more troops over to Vietnam. I turned around and looked at my mom and went, why? She just shrugged her shoulders, shook her head. She didn't know why. Even then, I was wondering, what the hell are these people doing? How do you deal with certain things in life in such a way to where you ignore, what's going on? How do you deal with that within yourself psychologically? How do you deal with ignoring the horrors of life? I'm just, I feel good about myself. I feel good physically. I feel good, and I know I need work. I'm a work in progress. Every single day I'm doing something that I need to do to keep myself available for other people and healthy enough to be able to be available for other people. So I do that. Am I old? No, not at all. I'm not old. I feel good. I feel, I feel alive. I wake up every day, put my feet on the floor, and feel grateful that I can do that. You know what I mean? I am grateful that I can do that. Most people get up and, oh, God, I got to go to work. This is my day job, folks. This is what I do. After I record and upload or do a live show, I'm spending another couple hours, maybe 3 hours to research some stuff. And then, I do my daily things outside of the studio, and then I come home and then I got more stuff to do. This is my day job. This is why I ask for, your support if you can. I mean, because this is what I do for you, and this is what I do for me, and this is how you get the information. I mean, there's other outlets out there, Michael Savage, Alex Jones, Brian Lang, Nick Tucker. There's other places to go to, but that's the foundation of diversity I just talked about a second ago. I'd come home from school or come back from friend's house or something, and I'd hear something, and I'd ask my mom or ask my dad, hey, what's this all about? And they would tell me, and I would get a different view. I would get a different perspective, not just a one-sided, narcissistic, selfish, self-centered opinion about it. No. I like diversity. I do. It's all right. I like that. It's cool. I like to, sit down with people that differ with me. I'm fine with that. That's okay. I'm going to go to break, folks. I'll be right back. This is American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com, sharing the truth one fact at a time without all the BS.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Lang with Live Truth Radio and TV. You're listening to Wayne S. Pierce with American Liberty Radio.
Smashing through the lies of the mainstream media, tearing down the walls of misinformation.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Shattering the foundations of the new world order.
To bring China into the creation of a new world order.
The truth, the facts, no bullshit.
In this new world, such dangerous currents have swept along faster than our efforts to contain them. And that is why we cannot afford to be divided.
The American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
For more information, go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com or email them at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. You know what you want. You want the truth. You want the facts. Without all the BS. American Liberty Radio Network. AmericanLibertyRadio.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distorted Reality. I am your host, Nick Tucker, and I welcome you to the broadcast.
Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. DistortedReality.podbean.com and Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on American Liberty Radio Network.
There's a show that's not afraid to ask questions no one else will ask. Not afraid to say
what no one else will say.
Friday nights at 7 p.m. Listen to Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie, where no topic is off limits. Conspiracy theories, paranormal activities, hoaxes, the unexplained. It's what we talk about. Question everything. Trust no one. Restricted Airspace with Tina Marie. Friday at 7 p.m. on the KCOR Digital Radio Network out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Hey folks, this is American Liberty Radio Podcast, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. It's the 2nd of May, 2017. How are you? Are you good? Hey, welcome. Thank you for listening to the podcast. I really do appreciate that. If you can help out a bit, help us keep the lights on around the studio, that would be awesome. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com, go to the sponsors page, and become a patron. Right there, a little link right there for you. Drop $1 into Kitty to help us keep the lights on around here. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you very much. And to everybody else around the world listening to this network, I want to say hello, greetings, good morning, hola, and have a great day, afternoon, or evening. You guys rock. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. 1,665 pages. GOP spending bill longer than Obama's stimulus, approximately 210 words per page. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, what's that all about? Let's check that out, shall we? Yeah, this is from CNS, The new federal spending bill proposed in the Republican-controlled Congress to fund the government through the end of September, which is now posted in the White House Rules Committee website, is 1,665 pages long and includes an average of approximately 210 words per page. That makes this bill approximately 350,000 words long, or about twice as long as the stimulus law, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, that President Barack Obama signed less than a month after his inauguration in 2009. As CNSNews.com reported in 2009, the House Appropriations Committee in the then Democratic-controlled Congress released Obama's stimulus bill in 2 PDFs less than 24 hours before the House was going to vote on it. One PDF was 575 pages long, and the other was 496 pages long, making the entire stimulus, when published in that form, was 1,071 pages. Excuse me. In the format that the government printing office eventually used to publish the final text of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, the law comprised a single PDF that was 407 pages long. The pages in that PDF included an average of approximately 430 words each, making Obama's stimulus law approximately 175,000 words long. Why does that matter, folks? Well, let's read more, shall we? On the House floor this past Friday, House Minority Whip Steny Hoyer, Democrat of Maryland, said that House Speaker Paul Ryan had told him that members would have 72 hours to read this new spending bill and that a vote would be held Thursday. Quote, I talked to the Speaker, Mr. Ryan, and to the Majority Leader standing right there on the floor just hours ago yesterday, quote, unquote, Hoyer said on Friday. Quote, it is my understanding that the Speaker's intention is that we have a bill filed Monday night, so in the Speaker's words, we can give 72 hours to review that bill and then pass it on Thursday, unquote. Yeah. Yeah. To read all of 1,665 pages of the bill over 3 full days, a member of Congress or a citizen would need to read 555 pages per day. Now, why does that matter? That's just a simple, I'm going to put that up there on American Liberty Radio Podcast. That's just a simple observation, folks. Simple observation as to what nonsense they talk about up there. CNSNews.com is, they're good. They have some really good stories, but, Leaked. Facebook targeted insecure children and vulnerable trendies. Top social media site used as a tool of globalists to push their agenda. Yeah. So that was from yesterday, the 1st of May, 2017, Infowars.com. Yeah. I'll put that up there for you to read. So many things are happening, folks, that we really, and I said it before in the last segment, that we have to pay attention to what's going on. Such as North Korea threatens nuclear test at any time. That's in quote. At any time. That's in quotes. Recent satellite images have led experts to believe a 6th nuclear test may be imminent. Yep. I go silent like that because it's in one way it's unbelievable that these people, these world leaders such as Kim Jong-un and all these people that want, nuclear weapons to wipe the United States off the face of the map are really, they're dumber than dirt, folks. I'm just going to tell you that. Antifa commies shamed in Austin. Austin protests fizzles as low energy commies unite. Yeah, so that's a video. And since I read the headlines, I'm going to post it at American Liberty Radio Podcast. Because you folks need to know. You need to find out what's going on. You need to understand what's happening. And I guarantee you that these Antifa protesters, along with BLM, the Black Lives Matter and all this, they're funded by larger organizations that are anti-American. I can name you a name, George Soros. Okay. Trump goes off script, says he'd be honored to meet with Kim Jong-un under the right circumstance. According to the fake news media, we're supposed to be outraged. Trump said he'd be honored to meet with Kim Jong-un under the right circumstances. I would. I'll tell you right now, under the right circumstances, I'd meet with him if I were president. Why? Well, I want to find out what this little bastard got up his sleeve. That's what I want to know. What's this spoiled brat want? Because he was raised by Kim Jong-il, his dad, and his grandfather wasn't all that great either. But I'd like to sit down and find out what he wants. Can we just, can you concede defeat for your country, Kim Jong-un? Because, you shoot weapons, we shoot weapons, people die, we don't want that. Okay? Nobody wants that. Okay? Just saying. All right? Under the right circumstances, I would meet with him. But I won't negotiate with him. I'd tell him straight up, this is what we're going to do if you continue to thumb your nose at us. Big Brother's still watching you. Don't fall for the NSA's latest ploy. Supposedly, the National Security Administration is going to stop collecting certain internet communications that merely mention a foreign intelligence target. Yeah, they're still watching you, folks. I'm going to put that up. John Whitehead from the Rutherford Institute contributed that to Infowars.com. It goes up on American Liberty Radio Podcast. Go check that out. Share the page, like the page. I'm also on YouTube. This show goes up on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and share, and post your comments down below the video, and let me know you saw this. That'd be great. I cannot, and I'm... okay, I'll just put it this way. I cannot grasp or understand or comprehend why anybody would want to tear down the United States of America. I just can't. I just can't. We've got 315 million people in the United States of America. I'm going to say about half of them are, over 18 years old. They know how to use a weapon. They're part of the military, part of law enforcement. Anybody that wants to, try to attack the United States is like the dumbest people on the face of the planet. I don't know why anybody would want to tear down the United States of America. I'm serious. I'm serious about that. We have freedom, unlike anybody else in the whole world. I mean, if you look at Russia and Vladimir Putin, I seem to think that those people over there have more freedoms than we have at this point. We're a constitutional republic. Screw democracy, okay? I'm going to say that again, and you can quote me on this. Screw democracy. It doesn't work, okay? A constitutional republic of, by, and for the people. Without integration is a word I'm looking for, really. Without the integration of corporations in politics, that's called fascism, folks. A constitutional republic of, by, and for the people work, period. End of sentence, done. It did up until 1871, thank you, President Ulysses S. Grant, who reluctantly, by the way, ran for president. He didn't want it. He didn't want the job. If you go back and look at the writings back then, and if you look at the history of President Ulysses S. Grant, he didn't want the job. He just finished accepting the surrender of the Confederate soldiers not that long ago, okay? It's like he signed the Act of 1871 6 years after the end of the Civil War. I mean, what? Yeah, who wants to just jump out of the fire into the freaking flame? I mean, off the grill into the flame. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how can a person who just accepted the surrender of your enemies 6 years later or 5 years later, whatever it was, want to be a president? You know, it just doesn't. I don't. Oh my God. Can you have some downtime for a few minutes, you know? I mean, seriously. Can you get a little time off? You know? It just didn't, it doesn't set well with some people. It's like, wait a minute, can I just, hold off a minute, Ulysses Simpson Grant, born Hiram Ulysses Grant, 27th of April, 1822 to the 23rd of July, 1885, was the 18th President of the United States from 1869 to 1877. As Commanding General of 1864 to 1869, Grant worked closely with President Abraham Lincoln to lead the Union Army to victory over the Confederacy in the American Civil War. Supported by Congress, Grant implemented Reconstruction, often at odds with President Andrew Johnson, twice elected president. Grant led the Republicans in their effort to remove the vestiges of Confederate nationalism and slavery, protect African American citizenship, and support economic prosperity. His presidency has often been criticized for tolerating corruption and for the severe economic depression in his second term. Grant graduated in 1843 from the United States Military Academy at West Point, then served in the Mexican-American War. After the war, he married Julia Boggs Dent in 1848. Their marriage produced 4 children. Grant initially retired from the Army in 1854. He struggled financially in civilian life. When the Civil War began in 1861, he rejoined the U.S. Army. In 1862, Grant took control of Kentucky and most of Tennessee and led Union forces to victory in the Battle of Shiloh. Earning a reputation as an aggressive commander, he incorporated displaced African American slaves into the Union war effort. In July of 1863, after a series of coordinated battles, Grant defeated Confederate armies and seized Vicksburg, giving the Union control of the Mississippi River and dividing the Confederacy into two. After his victories in the Chattanooga campaign, Lincoln promoted him to lieutenant general and commanding general of the United States Army in March of 1864. Grant confronted Robert E. Lee in a series of bloody battles, trapping Lee's army in their defense of Richmond. Grant coordinated a series of devastating campaigns in other theaters as well. In 1865, Lee surrendered to Grant at Appomattox, effectively ending the war. Historians have hailed Grant's military genius, and his strategies are featured in military history textbooks, but a minority contend that he won by brute force rather than superior strategy. He was in office from the 4th of March, 1869 to the 4th of March, 1877. And I'm going to put, that's from Wikipedia, so you guys can go check that out too. I'm going to put that up on American Liberty Radio Podcast because I did mention it, so there you go. Big Brother is still watching you. Supposedly, the National Security Administration is going to stop collecting certain internet communications that merely mention a foreign intelligence target. Privacy advocates are hailing it as a major victory for Americans whose communications have been caught in the NSA's dragnet. If this is a victory, it's a hollow victory. Here's why. Since its creation in 1952, with President Harry S. Truman issued a secret executive order establishing the NSA as a hub of the government's foreign intelligence activities, the agency has been covertly spying on Americans, listening in on our phone calls, reading their mail, and monitoring their communications. For instance, under Project Shamrock, the NSA spied on telegrams to and from the U.S., as well as the correspondence of American citizens. Moreover, the Saturday Evening Post reports, quote, under Project Minaret, the NSA monitored the communications of civil rights leaders and opponents of the Vietnam War, including targets such as Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, Jane Fonda, and 2 active U.S. senators. The NSA had launched this program in 1967 to monitor suspected terrorists and drug traffickers, but successive presidents used it to track all manner of political dissidents, unquote. The rest of that is going up on American Liberty Radio Podcast for all to take a gander at. Pardon me, folks. You ever wake up in the morning and just like your nose and you just your whole sinuses are just like, you're plugged. You're trying to get your day going and you're like, okay, I can't go now. My nose is so, Oh, yeah, I felt that way this morning, man. I'm a lot better now, even though I'm a little phlegmy, but, hey, it happens, So, there you go. A little behind-the-scenes baseball for you there, folks. So anyway, I want to hear from you, folks. I want to hear from you. I want to know what is going on in your neck of the woods. Okay? I see the statistics. I know you guys listen to the show. Let me know what you think. On the Spreaker side of things, you can drop a comment there in the show's comment section. You can go to the website, email me from there. You can go to, American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook and drop a comment there. You can, go to @RealWayneSPierce on Twitter, Real Wayne S. Pierce on Twitter, or, excuse me, let me give you the right address. I don't use Twitter that much, and I should, because, hey, what can I say? Does anybody use Twitter? Yeah, it's @RealWaynePierce. No S. Real Wayne Pierce. That's on Twitter. @RealWaynePierce. You can just drop a little something there if you'd like. It's kind of weird because I'm there on my Twitter page and it shows, what? No tweets yet? Yeah, I do have tweets. Let me sign out of that and give you, if I can sign out of it. Oh, there it is. Let me log out on that one and whoops. Anyway, folks, you can get a hold of me. I really want to know I want to know what's going on. Because I can sit here all day long and tell you what's happening in the United States of America. I can do that all day long. I can tell you everything that's going on in the United States. I can do that. But see, if I don't know what's going on in your neck of the woods and what's happening in your country, I cannot tell my listeners exactly what's happening. I can be vague. I can go from there. But I can't tell what's going on. I can't tell my listeners what's going on where you live. You know what I'm saying? So, and, if you've got something going on, I'd like to know about it. I really would. Because, yeah, it helps. Okay, here it is, folks. Here's the one I use mostly. The Twitter that I use mostly. Go to Twitter. Go search for @RealWS Pierce. That's Pierce. @RealWS Pierce. That's my Twitter handle. Check me there. Drop a tweet in there. Let me know what's going on. And thank you, folks. I really do appreciate that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, want to tell me to piss off, I hope you don't, but you can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Go to American Liberty Radio Podcast on Facebook. Drop a comment in there if you'd like. Go check out all the articles I dropped on that particular page. American Liberty Radio Podcast. Lots of things are changing, folks. We got to keep the lights on around here. So if you want to be able to help us keep giving you the news and giving everyone else around the world the information they need to know what's happening in the United States, you can help us out if you can. If you want to. I would appreciate it if you would, but hey, that's entirely up to you. I'm not throwing you on the ground and throwing your arm up behind your head and insisting that you help me. I'm just saying this is my day job. We got to keep the lights on around here. So, hey, if you want to help, thank you. I do appreciate that very, very much. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. You guys rock, man. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page. Become a patron. Yes, just click that link. Drop $1 into Kitty. Help us keep the lights on. That works for me, folks. And a lot of stuff is going on. A lot of changes are happening. I do stuff outside of the studio. So, whatever I can do to help you understand what's going on, I will do that. I will give you as much information as I gather. And I do encourage you folks to go out and check out stuff on your own because, hey, even though I find stuff, that's only answering questions that I have. So those answers, if I convey them to you, hey, you get the information one way or the other. But I just encourage you to go out and check this stuff out. What else, folks? Yeah, go check out a friend of mine, Mr. Brian Lang, over at LiveTruthRadio.com. Check his show out, Live Truth Radio and Television at LiveTruthRadio.com. Check out Mr. Brian Lang and his show. He's got Fred Schneider from Overpasses for America on once in a great while. Go check out that interview. He's awesome. Tell him American Liberty Radio Network sent you. And, give him a virtual high five from me. Also, check out, if you're an independent musician, an independent filmmaker, an independent author, there's a place for you. And here it is. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to 926theblitz.rocks and go check that out. That's 926theblitz.rocks. 926theblitz.rocks. Go tell Mr. Tom Slick over there at the Morning Brew that Wayne Pierce sent you from American Liberty Radio Network. Yeah, folks, lots of things going on, lots of changes happening, lots of plans for the next few months. I hope that you would like to be a part of that. So if you'd like to advertise on the network, please consider it. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go to the sponsors page. All the information is right there, folks. And if you have any questions, obviously you can ask me. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. It's always great to come to you, and I really appreciate the fact that you listen to this show. You guys are awesome. Big old thumbs up to you folks and a virtual high five. And I'm out of here, folks. This is American Liberty Radio Network, sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS.